Hello and welcome to Illustrator at Lambton College. We will be working with the Creative Cloud or CC version of Adobe Illustrator, and initially we will take a look at the Illustrator interface. So along the very top we have our application bar, and this is absolutely crucial. In fact, we'll start by pressing File in the application bar so that you can create a new file. So you'll go down to New and click on New and give it any title you like. You should have one beside number of artboards and 8.5 inches by 11 inches, or choose your size. Click OK. I'm not going to because I already have something open and I would like to follow this, and you should now have an artboard active. Okay, so along the very top we have our application bar, which is extremely important. A lot of what we will be doing involves using the application bar. Right below it we have our control panel, and this control panel controls well, a lot of things, including our fill and stroke and our stroke weight and all of the other things that come along with it. Down the right hand side we have our tools panel, or toolbox as I might call it. In the middle, the big white screen, is our artboard. In Photoshop you would probably call this a canvas, but here it's an artboard, and we can work with multiple artboards in Illustrator. Along the right hand side of the screen we have our panels dock, and you can control all the things about what are taking place in our document right now. So this includes our layers and what's going on within our layers, the different artboards that we are using right now. As you can see, we have only one. Our graphic styles, everything that we need to see occasionally but not always takes place within this. We also have at the top right our workspace switcher. We'll generally be working in Essentials workspace, but eventually we'll want to explore some of these others. I believe I've covered everything. Let's first take a look at our toolbox, or our tools panel. Probably the two most important tools that you will need to know are the selection versus the direct selection tool. The shortcuts to those are V for selection tool and A for the direct selection tool. Get to know these. The selection tool allows you to select an entire object, whereas the direct selection tool allows you to select only parts of the object. This will mean a lot more to you later on. Just below that we have our type tool. This is another essential tool you'll use a lot. So if I click that tool, I can come over into my artboard and I press my mouse down and that activates my tool, and then I can write in here. Okay, so I can then click my mouse, hold the mouse down, go back over my type, and now this is selected. And if I wanted to then go up into my control panel and change the size of that, I could do so this way. I'm not going to. I'm going to press delete or backspace to get out of that. And let's go down further. Just below the type tool, we have the ellipse tool. And if you hold that down, we also open subcategories. And so at the bottom, if there's a little arrow at the bottom right of the icon, you will have subcategories. So let's choose this tool, the star tool. Again, I will go into my artboard. I'm going to press my mouse down, drag my mouse, and let go. And now you can see how I've created a shape. I could also be working with a rectangle or the ellipse. We'll go into that again later. Let me point something out. If you have a toolbar that looks like this, all you need to do is press these two little arrows at the top left end of the actual panel, and it will set your toolbox up like this. I have to keep mine this way because if I stretch it out, you can't see my modes, my drawing modes. So let's continue down the line. We have our rotate tool. This is a handy one. We have, let's see, our eyedropper tool. This is another big one. Free transform, and our scale tool. These are also both very important. So I'm just working with type right now, and I don't want to manipulate my type because then I'm going to make a mess. So we have our free transform tool, we have the eyedropper tool, which is how we choose our colors. We have our artboard tool. So with this, we can actually create more artboards that we can work with. So this will be artboard 2 and artboard 3. And now if I actually go over to our panels dock and click on artboards, you will notice that I now have 3 artboards that are occupying this space. I'm going to just click backspace and delete these. I can only do this when I have the artboard tool selected. So it doesn't seem like an important tool, but it is. When I have such a tool selected, I will go to selection, choose selection, the selection tool, or control, just press V to deselect this tool. So let's go on. We can now look at, we have our fill and our stroke color. You'll notice that the red line going through the stroke means that there is no stroke. So if I was to go and say select my star tool and create a star, there is no stroke. However, if I choose to give this a stroke, you'll notice that when I make you'll notice on this one, now that it's deselected, that I actually have a small pink stroke. If I go up here and increase by pressing up arrow my stroke weight, I suddenly have a big beautiful pink stroke going around my star. I'm going to press delete and get rid of that, and I'm actually going to even step back. Delete that. I'm going to go to selection. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to go press delete or backspace and to delete that also. Okay. What else are we missing? We have our fill again and stroke, and down here we have drawing modes. We will talk a little bit about that a little bit later on.